Hi, my name's Emma and I work for Sieger Systems. Sieger Systems are aluminium products that we fabricate ourselves. The sole distributor is IQ Glass. They are made in Amersham on site with our showroom, so clients can come to view the products installed, see them being fabricated. So they're thermally broken aluminium systems. So the Sieger Legacy Systems, it's a thermally broken aluminium product range, which is essentially designed to mimic what can typically be achieved with steel. So you have a chamfered edge to the frame, so you don't have the straight edge, so it gives a much closer aesthetic to what you can achieve with steel. Again, the sight lines are much more similar, so with the Mondrian system that's provided by IQ Glass, you would have a 50mm profile across the vent and frame of a door. With the Sieger Legacy system, you can achieve a 58mm profile. So it's the closest system in aluminium to mimic that type of glazing. The Sieger range of windows has a really large range of handle options. So you can have, with the Legacy system, which is our steel look system, there are solid brass handle options in straight edge Art Deco styles. You can have more traditional bulb handle options and a more contemporary handle option as well. With our Sieger Slim and Sieger HD window systems, again, you can have the standard handle, either with a curved or straight edge. You can have a much more contemporary rounded handle as well. They come in a range of colours, so generally they would be provided in black, white, polished, chromed, but they can be powder coated any RAL colour as well. So all of the Sieger systems are aluminium framed, all fully thermally broken. This is a really important detail when dealing with a metal frame system because the frame is obviously conductive. So a thermal break is essentially a polyamide non-conductive material that's used to fully dissect the external and the internal frames, so to separate them. So when the external frame gets cold, the internal frame won't get cold as well. If you don't have a thermal break, you have something called cold bridging, whereby the internal frame will also get cold, causing a surface that condensation can build up on, which then over time would damage the building finishes, potentially cause damp and things like that. So it's a really important thing when specifying any aluminium window system. So if you wanted a completely flush threshold, a great option for that would be using the Sieger sliding doors. So the Sieger Slim or the Sieger Slim XL. With the Sieger Slim XL system, not only can you have a flush threshold, but you can overlay the floor finish to leave just about a 10mm gap, to which the wheels would then run along the track under that finished floor level. So you can have a really, really seamless track there as well. The bifolding door system, the Sieger 120, as well can have a completely flush threshold. With any casement doors, you generally need to have a small lip just to keep it watertight. Both the Sieger 120 bifold, the Sieger sliding doors as well, have an integrated drainage system whereby you don't necessarily need to specify a slot drain. The water would drain under the finished floor level. This is a really important detail to consider when using a flush threshold, especially in England where we get a lot of rain. Typically, the Sieger system products do perform really well in terms of their thermal performance. So as standard, we would always have a fully thermally broken frame, which improves thermal performance to a huge degree, especially seen as the metal frame is always the lower performing part of the system. The glazing specification that we would use as standard would vary slightly, but we always have at least a 16mm argon-filled cavity, and we always use soft low-E coatings to really improve the thermal performance. So as standard, they would exceed building regulations by a relatively large degree. So the Sieger systems are designed to have the most minimal profiles and sight lines, but still the highest levels of performance. So for example, the Sieger Slim sliding door has a vertical profile of only 20 millimeters, and all other framing is designed to be concealed within the building finishes. So you can have a really large elevation of glazing with only 2 centimeters of frame on show. Typically the track depth to a sliding door would be around 60 millimeters, so that's a good general rule of thumb to use when specifying Sieger sliding doors. The Sieger Slim system in a 3-track configuration, for example, would achieve a track depth of 182 millimeters. Yes, you can have corner connections without a steel post using the Sieger systems. So using our Sieger 120 bifold and both the Sieger Slim and Sieger XL sliding doors, we have a floating mullion design whereby when the doors are pulled away from the corner and open, you have a seamless corner. So for example, the Sieger Slim sliding doors, you could have an opening corner whereby a 2-track system meets a 3-track system, so you're not limited to the amount of panes on either side. Aluminium windows and doors are relatively low maintenance, especially when compared to something like a timber system. Really, there's not too much maintenance that's required. For example, the Sieger Slim sliding doors are powder coated to a marine grade finish, so a much higher micron level, which means they aren't going to scratch or the paintwork won't wear over time. Yes, so the Sieger systems can be used to replace timber windows. The metal framework would be put through a process called sublimation, whereby it would then mimic the type of appearance of wooden finishes. So you'd have the aluminium framework with a type of wooden aesthetic to them.